want to start running ads to increase your sales and your revenue. Or maybe you are already running ads, but your ads are not performing as well as you want them to perform. In both cases, this video is perfect for you. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to set up Facebook and Instagram ads so you sell more products. But not only that, I will give you a lot of advanced tips that will help you to improve your ads performance. Here is what we are going to cover in this video. First, your ad account structure or which campaigns you should be running. Second, what you should be preparing before you start running ads. Third, what type of ad formats you should be testing. 4, how you should be setting them up. And 5, what you should be expecting out of running ads. And 6, and most importantly, how to analyze your results and how to keep your ads performing and how to improve them over time. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you some ad examples that are performing very well now, and you must be testing them on your ad account. So make sure to watch this video up until the end. We are going to start this video by talking about your ad account structure or which campaigns you should be running. In this, we are going to discuss the objectives, the targeting, the campaign type, and much more. I want to start first by explaining that there are 2 types of campaigns on Facebook that matter to us as e-commerce brand owners or people who are looking to sell their products. The first type of campaigns is the normal, old, traditional Facebook ad campaign, and it's divided into 3 levels. So we have the campaign level, the ad set level, and we have the ads level. Then we have the new type of campaigns. It's not that new, but it's the new type of campaigns, and it is the Advantage Plus campaign. In this campaign, we basically have the campaign and directly the ads level. There is no ad set in there. It's in there, but it's not working anymore. You can't have multiple ad sets under this type of campaigns. With this structure, you can basically decide to group your ads within different ad sets. And traditionally, this type of campaign was used in order to target different audiences in each of these ad sets. Nowadays, we use this campaign for a totally different purpose, and I'm going to explain this to you in a few minutes. If you are looking to sell your products, you would be running either these 2 types of campaigns or one of them, and that's it. And when it comes to the account structure, your account structure could be as simple as having 1 campaign or 2 campaigns. If you are just starting out with Facebook and you have never run ads before, I recommend you to start with a traditional Facebook ads campaign and to only use the sales objective. This is a must. If you are running ads toward your e-commerce business, your main objective is to make sales. This is the only objective you should ever test or use. Okay, don't listen to people telling you that you can be testing traffic or leads or stuff like that. Don't do that at all, especially if you are on a limited budget. Go directly with a sales objective. If you are just starting out, I recommend this type of campaigns over the Advantage Plus campaign because the Advantage Plus campaign is a campaign that learns using your data. So if you are totally new and you have no data at all, it's going to be hard to get good results with this campaign type. That's why I recommend you to start with the traditional campaign type, then move to the Advantage Plus campaign. The main difference between these 2 campaigns is that with the first one, you have more control over how you are going to divide your budget. So you can put the budget at the campaign level or at the ad set level. I told you that previously we used to use this type of campaigns in order to test different audiences. Well, we are not doing this anymore because we are not doing any type of targeting anymore. Nowadays, we are letting Facebook find out our target audience. So no interest, nothing like that. If you heard people telling you that you should be adding interest or something like this is a very old advice that's not working anymore. You would be complicating your life over nothing. The only thing that you should be doing is to set up your campaign, to have your ad sets below them, and to have your ads, no targeting at all. The difference between your ad sets now would be basically the type of ads that you are running. So let's say, for example, you are selling supplements for dogs. So you can have one ad set that focuses on selling your product from the angle of prevention, and another ad set that focuses on selling your product from the medication angle. So you can see between these 2 different ad sets, I'm changing the angle of how I'm selling the products, but I'm still targeting the broad audience. Like I'm not putting any interest or anything like this. This is going to help you to understand what angle works better for your audience. Well, if you go directly with an Advantage Plus campaign, and there is nothing wrong in there, but you would need more time for the algorithm to find out your target audience and gather more data because again, you have 0 data. You need to know that you will have less control over the budget because with an Advantage Plus campaign, you are putting the budget at the campaign level and Facebook is dividing this budget between the ads. So as a summary, here is what I recommend you to do. Always use the sales objective. Don't do any type of targeting. I don't think that you should be testing or even investing money on this anymore. And third, if you are just starting out, start with a traditional Facebook ad campaign, then move it to an Advantage Plus campaign when you have more data or when Facebook recommends you to do this. If you have more data on your ad account, you can directly start with an Advantage Plus campaign and you would be totally fine. The question now is there any scenario where you should be running these two campaigns at the same time? Well, yes. When you start running ads, one campaign would be enough to get you like the testing and to do the sales and everything. But over time, especially if your Advantage Plus campaign found a winner ad, this campaign won't be any more suitable to test in new ads. Because let's say you are running 5 ads within your Advantage Plus campaign and one of them is performing very well, Facebook will be allocating all the budget toward the ad that's performing the best. If you introduce new ads within this campaign, Facebook won't be allocating budget, at least not anytime soon, on these new ads in order for you to test them and in order to know if they are actually good or no. In this case, you must create a new campaign for testing and it should be a traditional sales campaign because in this way you will have control over the budget. So you can start one ad set with your new creatives, see which one is performing best and move it to the Advantage Plus campaign once you discover that it's a winner ad. In some cases, you might have more campaigns, like if you have a special sale, or maybe if you are running ads in totally different countries with totally different languages, you might need different campaigns. But most of the times, like 99% of the time, and if you are running a small business with a limited budget, 1 or 2 campaigns would be more than enough. Now that you know everything about your ad account structure, the objectives, the targeting, and I have actually made it super simple to you, 1 campaign, 1 objective, and no targeting. What do you want more than this? It's super simple. We will move into the things that you should be preparing before we start running ads. And this is something super important. I'm not going to talk about preparing your landing pages and your Shopify store and so on for conversion rate because this is not the topic of this video, but you need to keep in mind that your store is where your customers are going to make up their minds whether to buy from you or not. So preparing your store to receive ads and making sure that it's well optimized and it has all the elements to convert your potential customers into customers is super important and it's something that you should never miss. I'm going to talk about the things that you should be preparing within Facebook or before you start setting up your ads on Facebook in order to make your work more productive. So first, you need to prepare your ads and we are going to talk about the ad formats and which ads you should be preparing. But the first thing you should ever prepare is your ads. Second, you should be prepare all the written content. You don't need to prepare a lot of versions because Facebook AI will help you and will give you suggestions, but you need to have at least 1 ad copy, a headline, a primary text, and an idea about how you are going to convince your customers to buy your product. I'm one of those people who truly believe that the biggest amount of work should be done on the ad itself. I don't believe that the text and the caption is deal breaker if your ad is already clear enough, but still they are super important and you need to think about them before you start running ads. Now when we go to my screen and we start setting up the ads, you will see that Facebook is going to ask you for several things to fill, like primary text, main text, headlines, and so on. And I'm going to tell you what to put in there, but you need to be preparing all of this before you start setting up your ads in order to make your work easier. The second thing that you should double check is to make sure that your Facebook pixel is installed on your Shopify store and that you have your integration set up. Especially if this is your first time running ads ever, this is super important. Just double check the integration. It's super simple. It's an app that you download on Shopify and you link all your Facebook and Instagram accounts and that's it. Now moving to the third thing that we will be discussing, and it is your ad formats. In Facebook, we have 4 different types of formats. We have the images, the single images, the carousels, the videos, the collection ads, and we have the catalog ads, which is a different type of ads, and we are going to discuss it later on. But when it comes to what formats you should be testing, I highly recommend you to test at least the single images, the carousels, and the videos. The videos and the single images are a must, This is something you should never skip. The carousel is something that you can or you cannot test depending on your preferences, but it's also a type of ads that performs well on Facebook and it's worth testing. If you want to know more about ad formats and what's trending now and all of these things, I highly recommend you to check this video on my YouTube channel where I talked in details about the Facebook ad formats, which ones perform better, which ones is going to give you the best cost of acquisition, and so on. Okay, this is a more detailed video that you can refer to after finishing this one. The most important thing is to test different type of formats. Don't only stick to video ads, because the other type of formats might actually surprise you by giving you better cost of acquisition or cheaper sales. Now that you know all of this, let's move to my screen and let's start setting up your ads. The first thing that you need to do is to go to your ads manager. And as you can see in here, we have the 3 levels that I have talked about before. We have the campaigns, the ad sets, and the ads. And if we take this first campaign, which is an Advantage Plus campaign, and you click on it, you will see that it has one ad set under it, and we have the ads in here. If we take another type of campaign, which is the traditional type, for example, this one, we go in here, you will see that it has multiple ad sets, and under each of these ad sets, we have different ads. Now, let's assume we are going to start a total new campaign, and I'm going to create with you an Advantage Plus campaign. Then I'm going to create with you a normal sales campaign so you can see the difference. So I will click on create in here. And again, you only choose sales, nothing else. Don't look even at these options. So let's go with sales, click on continue. And in here, Facebook is going to suggest these 2 options, either to run an Advantage Plus campaign or to go with a manual sales campaign. And this is the one that's I called the traditional campaign. I'm going to stick with the Advantage Plus one and click on continue. So in here, as you can see, Facebook directly created the campaign and the ad set. And all I need to do in here is to name the campaign and just tweak some of the settings. So in here, we have the name. For sure, name it something that makes sense for you. Then in here, we have the category. So if you are running ads with any of these categories, you need to choose them. If you are an e-commerce brand owner, this is not gonna be important for you. In here, you need to decide whether you want to sell your product on your website only or on your website and on your shop. I highly recommend you to choose website and shop, because on both Instagram and Facebook, shop is becoming very popular. So keep it as an option. And in here, you need to decide your performance goal. So my performance goal in here to maximize number of conversions. You can also choose to maximize value of conversions. This is an option that I would only use for an account with a lot of budget that's been running for a very long time. And I want to maximize my revenue, so increase my average order value. But for now, just stick with the maximized number of conversions. In here, you can set up a cost per result. So you can tell Facebook, I don't want to get sales, for example, for over than $30. I don't recommend you to put any limits in here, at least not now, especially if you are starting out, because you want to allow the algorithm and Facebook and Instagram to find your potential customers and to understand who your potential customers are. So you should keep this open and give Facebook the freedom to test out. When you click on show more options, you will see some things related to the attribution. And this is basically how Facebook is attributing the sales to these campaigns. So if you have it a 7-day click, basically you are telling Facebook that if someone clicked on the ad and converted or bought a product from my store after 7 days, I should be thanking the ad for making the sale. So I should be seeing the sale in here reflecting on Facebook. If you put 1-day view, basically you are telling Facebook that if someone viewed the ad and converted within the same day, you need to attribute the sale to this ad and thank Facebook for making the sale. The default options are good. You can click on edit and you can in here add also the engagement view if you wish. I don't recommend you to do this. I think that the 7 days click and the 1-day view are good enough for any business, so you can stick with them. Here you have the audience location. So basically here you are defining the country or where your ads are going to be showing. I don't recommend you to mix up countries in Advantage Plus campaigns. I have tried doing this with countries with the same costs, let's say, but I didn't think it's something smart to do. For different countries, I would use a different strategy. If you want to know more about this, comment below, and I would be happy to create a video about how to run ads in different countries. So for this, I will keep the United States. You can exclude some locations, and usually I don't do this, but in case you can sell in some location, you can do it. Otherwise, just keep it. In here you have the audience segment reporting, and this is used for Facebook reporting. You need to create an engagement audience, existing customers audience, and a shopping custom audience. You can do it and just insert them in here. Facebook will give you like the steps into doing it. It's not difficult at all, but this is not something that's going to affect your targeting. It's just going to affect reporting. But reporting is important because this is how the algorithm learns. So make sure to create these audiences and add them in here. After that, you have budget and schedule, and in here you are defining the budget of your campaign. As I told you before, with Advantage Plus campaign, you put the budget at the campaign level. So you're putting the budget for the full campaign, and Facebook is going to spend this budget between your different ads. So you can start with as low as $50 per day and go up from there. But just keep in mind that if your budget is very limited, this is bad, because it means that Facebook won't have enough space or enough room to test out. Okay, so keep your budget logical. I think anything that's below $50 is very cheap, especially in the USA. But if you are starting out, Facebook might not allow you a higher budget anyway. Start with $50 and increase it over time. Then you have this option to set a maximum of a budget that you are willing to put on your existing customers. So if your business have been running for a very long time and you don't want to be targeting your same customers again and again, especially if you sell a product that your customers are going to buy once in a lifetime or maybe twice, in this case you might not want to allocate this budget to existing customers, and you prefer to be totally like targeting new customers, you need to choose this option in here. After that, you precise the date when you want this campaign to start, and don't put an end date for any Facebook ads campaign. You can always turn it manually if you want. Keep your dates open always, because in this way, if a campaign is performing well, you make sure not to turn it off by mistake. And please keep in mind that if you ever turn a campaign off on Facebook and you turn it on after like a while, it won't necessarily perform as well as before, because it would be like leaving and entering the bidding system at different times. So I don't recommend you to do this. I usually don't turn off my campaigns at all. I keep them running, and this is something super important to keep in mind. I usually don't turn off my campaigns at all. I keep them running, and I only change the ads, and I test through altering the ads, and that's it. This is something super important to keep in mind. And as you can see by default in here, the ad set, and in here we start setting up our first ad. You need for sure to add the name, and in here you select your pages, so Facebook and Instagram pages, and in here you start creating the ads or doing the manual setup. And as you can see in here, you have single image, carousel, or collection. And these are the three different formats that you can go with. And in here under the ad setup, you have the option between starting in a manual upload or to use the Advantage Plus catalog ads. I will talk a little bit about these ads in here. Catalog ads are ads that are basically run through Facebook and you don't have any control over them. So what you need to do is to simply sync your Shopify catalog with your Facebook ad account and create a catalog of your products in there. And Facebook will be using this catalog to run these ads based on your customers and based on your data and on what Facebook knows about your potential customers and all the data that Facebook gathered previously on your account. Facebook will be showing your products dynamically to people based on what Facebook expects them to like the most. So you don't have a lot of control over catalog ads, but they are very valuable if you have a very large catalog, and they can play the role of retargeting in this case. So going back in here, we have the manual upload. And as you can see in here, you need to choose between single, carousel, or collection. We are going to stick with a single image or video. And when you scroll down in here, you need to start setting up your creative. So the first thing is to add the image or the video. And once you start doing this, you will be previewing the work in here. So let me select any video from my account. The first thing that you need to do is to enter the URL in here. So you need to enter your product URL in here. Once you do this, you can in here change the extensions that you will see under the ad. These extensions are very similar to what you see on Google or what we used to see on Google. You can set them up by adding thumbnail, display label, and URL. So basically you're adding like small buttons below your ad. I highly recommend you to do this. I'm not going to do this now, but you can definitely do this. Once you finish with this, you go to the media section, and in here you need to upload your ad. So you choose your ad and you click on skip and continue, and in here you are previewing the app in different locations. So we have first the vertical, which is the placement on Instagram stories, reels, Facebook stories, Instagram explore page, and so on. Then we have the square format, which is like our feed format, Instagram feed or Facebook feed. Then we have the horizontal format, which is for the column on the desktop, Facebook desktop. This is not a placement that I care a lot about, so I can skip it, but these two formats are super important. What I usually like to do is to have the same video or the same image done in 2 dimensions, one vertical for the stories and all of these placements, and one square for the feed. And you simply click here on replace, and you replace your vertical video by the square one, and that's it. Once you do this, you click on next, and in here you need to start feeding up Facebook the text that you want to see on your ad. You can do this in here, or you can skip it and do it later. In here we have the enhancement, and these are like AI recommendations given by Facebook. I don't recommend you to accept all of them. I recommend you to go over every one of them and accept the ones that work for you, especially when it comes to text, because in some cases Facebook is going to be like adding text over your visuals, and maybe you already have text, so this is going to be bad. So just go over them, choose the ones that you want to keep, and keep. As you can see, I didn't fill the text in there. I want to fill the text in here. So the first thing I need to fill is the primary text, and here you need to tell people about your ad. What I recommend you to do in here is to add something that's attractive for your potential customers. You can add a previous review, you can add your product benefits, maybe your shipping conditions, if you have a discount, something that's super attractive. So for example, this is the text I have added, and these are basically the things that I want you to prepare before you start setting up your ads. Okay, so this is the text. As you can see, we have talked about the product, we have the benefits in here, the main unique selling propositions, and we have like some more text about the product and also a call to action. Once you do that, Facebook is going to recommend some more text that you can use. What I recommend you to do is to read these things in here, choose the ones that only make sense or change in them. Usually Facebook is very good with this, so most of this will be working very well, but reread them and make sure that there is nothing funny or let's say wrong in here. By doing this, you are basically like giving Facebook different options to test, different primary text to test, and to see which one is going to perform the best. After the primary text, and as you can see, you can preview it now in here. It's the text that you are going to see in here. We have the headline. And I've chosen this headline, and as you can see, it's previewed in here. For headline, you can add things like, for example, 5,000 plus positive review, or tested by 10,000 person, or 4.9 Trustpilot review. These kind of headlines always work very well because they enforce social proof. Or you can go with something like this that's more general, or maybe you showcase your offer more. Create something, write something that's catchy and attractive. Remember, it's showing in here on the feed and in here on the feed as well. In addition to the main headline that you add, you can add also more options to allow Facebook to test between them. And also for the description, you can add different variation to allow Facebook to test them out. The last thing that you should be doing is to choose your call to action. And when it comes to e-commerce, it's super simple. It's always shop now. As simple as that. So as you can see, everything that we have done in here is reflected in here. Not all of this text will be showing in all placements. So just like preview the ad, even go to the advanced preview, make sure that it looks good in all placements, and double check your work, and that's it. Once this is done, you need to scroll down a little bit in here. These are the enhancements that I recommended you to test before turning them on. So just make sure that you have done a good job in here. And finally, you have the destination, so the website URL. And you can even change the display link. Instead of displaying the full link, you can just display something else. I'm not going to add any browser add-ons. And in here, I will select my shop product. As you recall at the beginning, if you recall at the beginning of this tutorial, when I was setting up the campaign, I have chosen website and shop as my destination. And this is where I choose the product from my shop, where I want to lead the customers coming from this ad. Okay, so in addition to the link from the website, I need to choose the product from the shop. After this, you scroll to tracking, and here you need to make sure that you have your pixel activated, and that's it. You can even in here decide to add coupon codes to your offer. So if you have something that's running, you can decide to add it, and Facebook will be showing your coupon code as well. And that's it. Once you finish the ad, you just need to publish it and to recreate new ads and so on. Now that we have set up an Advantage Plus campaign together, let's see the difference between this type of campaigns and the traditional type of campaigns. So from here, you click on Create, and this again, you choose Sales, but this time instead of going with the first option, you choose the Manual Sales campaign. After naming this campaign, choosing the category and so on, in here you have the option to run an Advantage Plus catalog ads if you wish. And basically with this option, you will be synchronizing your Shopify catalog with your ad account, and Facebook would be running these ads dynamically, showing the, let's say, the best option to the best, or the best product to the best potential customer based on data and the previous interaction and so on. This is a type of ads that I highly recommend testing if you have a large catalog. It can play a very big role into retargeting your potential customers, and it can give you very good results. Again, if you want to know more about ad formats and where to use each one of them, I highly recommend you this video where I discuss this in details. And after that, you have the Advantage campaign budget. When it comes to this type of campaigns, you have two options. Either you set up the budget at the campaign level, so you give the full campaign, let's say $100 per day, and you allow Facebook to optimize this budget on the different ad sets, or you set up the budget at the ad set level. Since we are using this campaign for testing mainly and to have more control, I prefer to put the budget at the ad set level. Again, now I use ad sets in order to test the creatives and angles. So I like to have control over this in order to make sure that Facebook is spending on every single angle and on all the ads that I'm introducing. So in each of these ad sets within this campaign, I will have an angle, I will have several ads, and I will put the budget at the ad set level. So Facebook will need to spend the money on these ads, and I will be able to compare between them and know which ad performed the best under each ad set. After that, you have in here the audience segmentation report. It's the same as we have seen before. After that, we have this first ad set. And as you can see, when you click here on the three dots, you can create a new ad set. With the previous campaign type, you weren't able to do this. So this is the first ad set. You name the ad set. In here, you can change these settings that we have done before. And then here you have some audience controls. This is different than the old targeting we used to do. In here, you are just like giving Facebook like ideas about your potential customers. It's very similar to audience signals with Google PMax, I think. You can totally skip this part, or you can add your controls in here. After this, you have the audience control section, and in this section you are basically giving Facebook strict controls of where to show your ads and to whom. So you can choose the location, the age. If you want to exclude some people, you can do it in here. After this, you have the Advantage Plus audience, and in here you can either add custom audiences from your previous audiences or change the age, gender, and so on. These are basically suggestions of where you want your ads to show. Facebook will automatically show ads to people most likely to respond, and will show ads to people matching your suggestions and other audiences when it's likely to improve performance. In the Advantage Plus audience section, this is where you can tell Facebook more about your target audience. Before, we used to be able to enter the interest and like be very nitty-gritty about who our potential customers are. We are not doing this anymore. Things are way simpler now. Facebook recommends keeping everything broad, giving the algorithm enough space and enough audience in order to test and find your real potential customers, and this is what I recommend you to do. You can here add your custom audiences to give like Facebook more signals about who your potential customers are. You can even, and it's something I don't recommend, to switch to the original audience option and change in here. You can even click in here and switch to the old audience options. This is not something I recommend you to do. I think even Facebook don't recommend you to do this. The only thing that you might do in here is to add some custom audiences to make Facebook work a little bit easier. Once you do this, you can in here change the placements. Also, don't touch this, keep it as open as possible. And after that, you start setting up the ads within this ad set in the same logic we have done it. And after that, you need to start setting up the ads within this ad set. And when you want to create a new ad set, you just click on the three dots and you add a new ad set. Again, use these ad sets to test different angles or to test a new batch of creatives that you want to test, or to test a new batch of creatives that you have, or maybe to test some formats or whatever you want. Again, when it comes to these ad sets, instead of losing your time over testing different audiences, and targeting, use your time to test different creatives, different angles, and so on. Once you finish setting up your ads and you hit the publish button, all you need to do is to sit there waiting at least for 5 or 7 days before going back to your ads manager and checking out the results. That's what leads us to the next point I want to talk about, and it is how to set your expectations the right way. If you are running ads with the mindset that you are going to spend a few $100s here and there and see if it's going to work and decide based on it if you will continue spending or not, I highly recommend you not to start in the first place, because running ads and training the algorithm to find your potential customers and reach out to them is actually harder than you think. You need to be able and you need to be willing to invest time and money into this learning process. Otherwise, this is not going to work for you. It's exactly like going to the gym. If you are going to go once a week and then stop later on, don't do it in the first place. It's going to hurt you more than help you. In order to run successful Facebook and Instagram ads campaigns, you need to be consistent. You need to be willing to put the time, effort, and money into making these campaigns successful. Ads will work for you if you are willing to put the work needed in order for them to learn and to improve over time. All you need to do is to set up your ads, run them, give them enough time, analyze the results, learn from these results, and improve your ads and try one more time. Continue with this loop, testing and trying until you find the successful ads. You can be selling the same product at a cost of $20 with one ad and $40 or even $50 with another ad. So testing is super important in order to find the right ad, the winning ad, the ad that will actually convert your customers. And once you find this ad or these ads, you need to keep testing other angles or other versions of this ad in order to keep your potential customers engaged and in order to be able to scale your ads more and more. After you run your ads, learning how to analyze the results and how to read all of this data that you have collected is something you must do. If you don't read your numbers well, if you don't understand how to turn these numbers into actions and into things to improve, you will never be able to create better ads and better creatives. That's why this is something I want you to take your time into learning, investing a lot of time into understanding all of the metrics that you will find within Facebook Ads Manager is super important. That's why I highly recommend you to check this video on my YouTube channel. In this video, I talk in details about every single metric that you should be looking at and what each of these metrics mean and how you can turn these metrics into ideas and tasks and things to improve. This is something that you should never miss. So make sure to watch this video directly after watching this one. I will leave the link below in the description so you can check it out quickly. When it comes to running Facebook and Instagram ads and run them successfully, your ads, your creatives are super important. And this is where you should be spending most of your time into improving these ads and making them better and better. There are so many ideas that you can explore and there are so many ideas that are working perfectly well now. And in order to help you to know what type of ads you should be testing, what angles, hooks, or ideas you can be exploring, I have created a file with inspirations from different brands with different angles. If you want to get hold of it, I just want you to comment below ads and I will be sending you the link. In this file, you will see a lot of inspirations, a lot of ideas that you can directly apply to your business. So comment below ads and I will send you the file. Thank you so much for watching this video and for staying up until the end. Before leaving, don't forget to watch these 2 videos on my YouTube channel. In the first one, I talk about the different Facebook ads formats and which ones are performing the best and why. And in the second one, I show you how you should be reading and analyzing your ads performance and results. So don't forget to check them out.